City performance. They come to the team second in the table and they go toe to toe. And you wouldn't know by watching this game the position of the two teams. And Leicester again will leave the field after a draw. Encouraged, but almost still thinking it's a game they could have won due to that performance. They led after 10 minutes, Caleb Okole thumping home a header from a Divine Makassa free kick from the right-hand side. His first of the season was equalised in injury time at the end of the first half when Riley McGuee swept home a Tommy Conway cross. Second half where both teams had chances to win it. Both teams defended in numbers with spirit and commitment. And as the Leicester fans give a standing ovation to their players over on that far right corner, it is a full-time score inside the Riverside Stadium. Middlesbrough 1, Leicester City 1.
Jerry, we'll stick right with you because we've got the pictures. Another breathless ending to a game. That's twice, isn't it, that you've been able to do that? Yeah. I mean, they've held on though. Whereas
yes.
I feel like Saturday it was all Leicester, wasn't it? There that they easily could have conceded. I mean, they could have scored as well, couldn't they? But
yeah.
They're probably happier tonight with the point than they were Saturday.
I think so. After taking a well-deserved lead and in periods of the game controlling it. And yes, credit to Middlesbrough, they came back in there in the second half, piled a lot of pressure, especially down this right-hand side, in fairness. But for the most part, Leicester stuck to the task. Yes, you could see towards the end of the game that they were out on their feet, the lads, but they just kept going. Ollie Skip with an unbelievable lunging block, and then with a flick clearance header to keep it at 1-1, or to help keep it at 1-1. So yeah, and that's exactly what's needed now, Dan. His body's on the line, and that's what you've seen tonight. Riding their luck, you could say. I think in the end a draw is a fair result, purely because of the way the game went. But Leicester at times controlled the game, dictated the pace of the game, and in all honesty, no surprise that, as we've kept saying throughout the season, the quality of player that they have on show at times.
Yeah, you could see as well the reaction from the supporters, Jerry, there at full time. They like what they saw again, just as you did.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's when your backs are against the wall, you've got to start showing some mettle, and that's exactly what they did tonight. They showed some mettle, showed some grit, showed some determination, and that attitude of "dare I said over my dead bodies" was there for everyone to see again tonight, and that's why they got the reception they got from the fans.
We'll continue to hear from Jerry Taggart live at the Riverside Stadium this evening. We've got Matt Elliott, his former teammate, and Ewan Roberts here in the studio with me, Dan Bateson. Again, we said it on Saturday, and breathe at full time. We can do the same now. Will Leicester or Middlesbrough be happier with that point, Ewan?
You look back at that second half, had a great chance at the start of it when that long ball put Ayling under pressure. Really poor header back from him. Backers onto it. All he's got to do, that sounds easy. In a split second, he's got a decision to make. He's got to get his head to the ball and just get it over the goalkeeper and get the direct. He doesn't get the direction right, and it just goes past the post. But it was a really good chance to get the lead back early in that second half. Abdul Fatawu puts a great ball in from his left-hand side, whether it's a cross or from our right-hand side, whether it's a cross or a shot. It just sort of creeps back past the right-hand post. And Tag said it in commentary, I was disappointed that no one was breaking their neck to get onto that back post to maybe get a. Yeah, there were some scary moments towards the end of the first half, last 15 minutes. They did put a bit of pressure on. They did put plenty of balls into the box, but in reality, I look at that second half, and I think Begovic only had that one shot to save with his feet when McGree went through and got his shot off. Defended ever so well, really organised, and we saw it then as the lads and Gary and his staff have gone over to thank the fans for making that long journey up to the North East. They're full of appreciation from what they've seen from their players. hard work, committed, focused, honest, and that's all supporters will ever ask for.
Yeah, and I think, unfortunately, Leicester are not in a situation that their supporters would like them to be in. Being relatively pleased with a point away at Middlesbrough at the start of the season might not have seemed like the biggest result in the world, but all things considered, right now, that's not a bad point at all, is it? I think Leicester will probably be the happier of the two, but neither of them will be devastated about it. It keeps both sides. Well, it keeps Middlesbrough on some sort of form, doesn't it? I suppose having lost and drawn one, but Leicester need to start picking up wins. But they know that this is part of a difficult run. You've got Ipswich coming up again soon, isn't it? Norwich is a huge game at the weekend, which obviously we'll talk about in a second. But first and foremost, tonight, the performance was decent. And that result is reasonable, really. You'll take the point. Don't know what the final outcome of the other results are, but regardless of that, I think they've worked favourably.
Yeah.
I've got my fingers crossed until
Yeah.
the last 10 minutes. But regardless of that, they still have to take care of their own business, and to a degree, they did that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we can just quickly glance at the other results, Ewan. I think that's
You always
fair,
do, Dan. You
fair
always
to do
do,
that.
yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you look, Blackburn were at home tonight. West Brom were at home to Charlton. Neither of those won. Blackburn lost. West Brom and Charlton drew. Portsmouth were away at Wrexham. They lost. Leicester away at second in the league. Had easily the worst
In that
fixture on
context.
paper and have got the points.
And Blackburn were winning as well, which is worrying, and so were West Brom, weren't they, at one stage? So you think it's amazing how things can change. But like you say, you don't want to rely on anyone else, do you?
No,
we can't afford to do that.
I do think you have to you can't help, but it's just the nature of the game.
being a football fan,
It is.
Yeah, of
You
course,
do
yeah.
keep an eye on the results. Whether you're at the bottom of the league or at the top, you look at what's around you. Do you know what's impressed me more than anything? And I put the FA Cup game at Southampton to one side. I look at what happened in that second half here a couple of weeks ago against Southampton, and the lads would have been lower than a snake's belly after that. Everybody was, supporters, us, because we love the football club. The way the lads have responded in two tough places to go, and I know Stoke aren't sort of firing on all cylinders, but it's still a tough place to go. Come away with a point, probably should have been 3. Gone to the second best team in the division, in great form under a new head coach. On another day, could have nicked it with the chances that they created. Gave away a sloppy goal. In another season, a point at Stoke and a point at Middlesbrough would have been, decent in all honesty. But it's just obviously the scenario and the situation but I think what I'm trying to, I'll try and keep it short. No. The reaction since that Southampton second half has been very, very, very good.
Yeah, we talk about you've got to have genuine belief that you can get yourself out of a situation that, as Leicester are in now, or you can get promoted, you can achieve success. That's for another time, but it has happened before. To me, the players look like they believe what their managers putting across to them. I'm not saying he's not made any drastic changes just yet, but just his manner, how he comes across. I talked about his enthusiasm earlier, his energy, his experience as well at this level. What he says, I think they are trusting what he says, and that's giving them a little bit more self-belief than they've had previously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jerry, again, I think that's a good point that these guys make, and you could see that, couldn't you, in the second half, certainly on Saturday, and then I'd say for the full 90 minutes today, barring that one lapse really in concentration just before the break.
Yeah, I think overall you've got to say, the last 2 games, the performance levels have been raised, and should have won probably on Saturday against Stoke. Today, a really battling away performance against second in the league. A really battling performance, come away with a point. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not ideal, it's not exactly what we want, but it's a start, isn't it? Not 2 difficult away games. and to come away unbeaten in both of them is a start. I'm not saying it's magnificent, but you can see a difference. I've seen a difference on Saturday when Leicester conceded the second goal, and they went straight up the pitch and should have walked off the pitch with another couple at least in the bag. And again here today in the last, going down the final stretch of the game, and Middlesbrough are obviously trying to go for the win. I've seen bodies being put on the line. So yeah, you can't have too many complaints. Let's face it, and I don't want to dwell on it too much because I don't want to take away from the performance, but conceding avoidable goals is still an issue that somehow has to be solved. And if they can do that, then things are looking really good at the minute. But it's just a game where you just decision making in certain, I've harped on about it all season, with decision making in split seconds, where you have a split second to make the right decision and you don't, and it costs you, and it happened again tonight. And that's the one thing that has to be put right. And if they do that,
it's not just in defensive areas, it's in forward areas making the right decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hanging on to the ball a little bit too long, taking that extra touch where maybe you could have put a pass in it. There was I think it was Jordan Ayew, he cut in from the left-hand side, and he took the shot on. The angle was difficult for him, and it was a comfortable save for the goalkeeper to make. I'm looking in the centre circle, and Lucas's there. He's just pulled off his defender. He's in the D, sorry, and he just wants to pass. It's just making good decisions, both defensively and in an attacking sense. But I agree with.
There was one as well, and Daka was running through. Mikasa was running off, and
he tried to do a little bit too much, didn't he?
Dillid and Dalid, didn't he? So.
But you're seeing, and it might be the Gary Rowett influence to how he gets the team organised defensively. And Middlesbrough, they did have quite a lot of sort of pressure in that final third, but you've got Leicester lads throwing their bodies in front of shots, like putting their bodies on the line, and that's what you need. That's what it's going to take for Leicester to survive this season.
I was going to ask Jerry a quick one. Is he still available?
Yeah, absolutely.
I am.
Are you there, son? Not so much a question, just a comment on your thoughts on your main man, Mikasa, again, who could have just assisted with 4 tonight and scored a brace if it was another day. But he was impressive again. But as well as him, Tags, I thought Decordova-Reid came back into the ranks pretty effectively. Your thoughts? Yeah,
totally agree, Matt. I mean, Decordova-Reid, I think, when he's shown this season, he's been in that sort of number 10 role. So he started the game obviously on that right-hand side and just, straight away just used all that experience up against a very experienced fullback and Matt Targett anyway. Was very impressive. Work rate very, very good defensively. Got back, helped Ricardo out. Ricardo didn't find it easy tonight with Conway down that left-hand side. But Decordova-Reid, when needed, did help out, and again, linked up really well. Some of the link-up play was really good without actually coming to anything. And that's, I'm not saying it's. I was going to say it was disappointing. It's a little bit sad because there's some good play out there where Decordova-Reid, Harry Winks, Skip, Mikasa, all involved in keeping the ball, dictating the tempo of the game, playing at ease, and then it all breaking down at the top end, right at the top end of the pitch. And so it's a little bit sad to see that. Some of the play, and especially Mikasa, it deserves more. And obviously, with a set piece, he got what he deserved because the ball in was textbook ball for someone to go and attack it. So yeah, I mean, he is a class act. There's no doubt about it.
You just think, Jerry, then the more games that he plays for Leicester in this run, presumably if he's fit, we don't know. Jordan James has got to come back in somewhere, hasn't he? But presumably Macassa's going to be an important player for Leicester between now and the end of the season. Just the more he plays, the better he'll get, and the more he'll know his teammates. And Saturday again, hopefully here at King Power Stadium in that early kickoff, he'll be instrumental again.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing against seasoned pros. You know, how many games is that he's come in and played now? 3 or 4, is it? And he's playing against seasoned pros, and he looks every bit, you know, the real deal. He really does. And the more he comes to terms with the pace of the championship, the physicality of it all, then he'll just thrive. He'll just work it all. You can see he's got an old head on young shoulders. He'll work it all out, and he'll thrive in this scenario. There's no doubt about that.
Great ability, great technique, great delivery from set pieces. Can score a goal, can open a defence with his passing. I think that the only thing that's sort of going against him at the minute is probably his fitness levels, because he's not used to this intensity of playing on a regular basis. But that will come the more he plays. He's got a massive part to play from now until the end of the season. You don't want to put all the pressure on someone so young's shoulders. But I think he thrives on that responsibility. You know, he wants the ball. He wants you to give it to him. He wants to go and impact the game. And that's what he's done in every appearance that he's made.
Plays the game at his pace, doesn't he? Yeah, no, so class operator.
Strolls through a game, doesn't he?
Yeah. Plenty to come from him. But it seems quite a lot to be sort of pinpointing and relying upon Mikasa. I'm not saying it's totally that way, but it's quite a sort of heavy burden, but it doesn't seem to bother him. He's come in here, he's comfortable in his own skin, and he's been a great introduction for sure. Others have got to contribute as well, though. Yeah,
absolutely. And Saturday is a big opportunity now for Leicester. We know Norwich have been in a really good run. You're probably the best person to go to, considering you spent so many years with the Canaries. But Leicester are at home. It's the first game under Gary Rowett here at King Power Stadium, so you assume the support here will be fantastic, both in support of him and the team, who have performed well in the last 2 games. You're at home. Come on, let's go and get all 3 points.
You've gone away from home on the second time to one of the best teams in the division. You've got 2 points. You've got to go and build on that now with 3 points at home. Early kick-off. Norwich play Sheffield Wednesday at home tomorrow night. So there's that advantage to be had. They're in good form, Dan. You know, Philippe Clement's gone in there and he's really steadied the ship. I mean, they were dead and buried when he took over. I think they were second from bottom. I think they've won 7 of their last 10 before they lost to Birmingham on Saturday. But how many times do we say you got to win your home games? And you know, that's probably why Leicester are in this position, because they haven't made the most of playing here at the King Power for one reason or another. The expectancy, the pressure of not winning on a regular basis at home has got to the players. Can't have any of that on Saturday. Got to go and win the game.
Matt?
Yeah, just echo that really. I mean, it is a big game Saturday, isn't it? Because it's all well and good, you know, been an upturn in performances and a sort of change of mentality, change of feel around the club in general with the new manager, but that's got to be it's got to be changed into points, hasn't it? And Norwich is a big opportunity, as you say. They're a decent side, they picked up, but this sort of game at home at the King Power, they've still got to fancy themselves and go strong.
Yeah, as ever, Jerry, you'll be here, won't you, for that one? And that's just an opportunity to echo what you and Matt have been saying there to come. And like I said, I assume it'll be a near on full, hopefully, King Power Stadium to support Gary Rowett.
Yeah, you would have thought so. I think, you know, again, if you're going over the last couple of games since Gary Rowett has come in, the players must have taken confidence from both performances. Yes, they've only walked away with 2 points, but I mean, when was the last time Leicester got back-to-back draws this season? Come on, Dan, you'll stop, man. Because I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a good question. Give me
and again, you know, I'm not saying it's ideal, but you've got to stop somewhere. And the first thing you've got to do is you've got to stop the rot. And they've stopped the rot, as I've just said, with 2 difficult away games. And now it's time to produce the goods at home in front of the King Power faithful. The lads have already issued that. We know they've got the talent. The confidence looks like it's coming back. The performance levels have been raised. There's a bit more grit, a bit more determination, a bit more belief, a bit more meaning behind the performances. But, you know, they are where they are for a reason, and they have to somehow, starting on Saturday, get the grips with that and turn it round.
Ewan, I'll let you have the final say, and also to gloat that you got the stat before.
Only because I've had a quick look. We had 4 draws in September, Tags. 4 consecutive draws in September.
Yeah, there was a flurry, wasn't there?
I tell you what, looking for Saturday, if they can go out with the same hard work, same determination, tidy up certain aspects of the game defensively more than attacking in an attacking sense, with a full King Power Stadium, same level of performance as we've seen tonight, as we saw especially in the second half against Stoke on Saturday, and I think Leicester will win the game.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Ewan. Yes, we will be here back again in this very studio, of course, looking ahead to that game on Saturday. If you can't make it to King Power Stadium, then please do join us on Match Day Live on Fox's Hub. It is a 12:30 kickoff, another early one on Saturday. That means we'll be live from 12 o'clock on the last day of February. There are still monthly passes available for you. Obviously, it might make more sense to do March and do a game pass for the game on Saturday, but all the information and everything that's available to you, just find it on Fox's Hub and on the website. It'll tell you everything that you need to know there. Thank you to Jerry. Safe travels back to South Yorkshire from the very north of the county. Thank you to you, and safe travels back to North this evening. And safe travels for your 10 minutes home to Matt Elliott. Thank you, all of you, for your company, everyone that's watched. It's 2 draws in a row under Gary Rowett and a massive home game coming up at the weekend. Hopefully we'll see you all here at King Power Stadium. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Goodbye.